Hello, my kitchenettes, and welcome to David's Kitchen. Today's another comfort food day. I'm in the mood for chocolate, and I'm going to reach back into my mother's old recipe box and make a cake that I always thought had a funny name. It's called Never Fail Chocolate Cake. I don't know why I think that's hilarious, like never fail. Maybe people worry that their cakes weren't going to come out right. I hope I'm not the first to totally fail on this one. But it is definitely a ring kind of tube cake that I remember my mom making. A lot of times it was something that she would make for a bake sale, and you know, we couldn't eat it. But I'm definitely going to eat this one. So stick with me and I'm going to show you how to put this together. For some reason, this recipe says you have to be very specific. You have to put the ingredients in the bowl in the order that they're listed, and you don't mix it until everything's in the bowl. So I'm going to follow the directions with one little change that I'll tell you about in just a little minute. And here we go. So we're going to start out with 2 eggs. They go in. Remember, when you're baking, it's a good idea to have your eggs and milk, etc. at room temperature. So those 2 eggs are at room temperature. Now I'm taking a cup of cocoa powder. Now, when you buy cocoa powder, there's typical Dutch processed cocoa powder, which is fine, but they also make a special dark cocoa powder, and that one has really a tremendous amount of flavor. So what I like to do, a little secret here, is to mix the 2. So I have a half a cup of the regular cocoa powder and a half a cup of the dark special cocoa powder. So that goes into the bowl. To that, we have 1 cup of shortening, and I'm using Crisco. It's one of these things that these old recipes, they always talk about Crisco, margarine, oleo, lots of different things that were used back in the day. But a lot of times they didn't use butter when they made cake. So I'm going to stick with it and use Crisco. Now I'm going to add 3 cups of flour. So that goes here in the bowl. 1 cup of sour milk is what the recipe says. So I had to call my 96-year-old Auntie Jo and my dear godmother, and I asked her, what's sour milk? And she's like, oh, I put lemon juice in the milk. Duh, buttermilk. So I have a cup of buttermilk. See, these Italian ladies, they know best, that's for sure. So a cup of buttermilk. Then 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. But this is where I'm making a variation from my mom's recipe. I'm going to go ahead and gate up a little bit by throwing in also a teaspoon of orange extract. It smells like heaven. I love chocolate and orange, the chocolate covered orange rind, other kinds of anything chocolate orange combination. I absolutely love it. So I had a feeling if I put the orange extract in here, it's going to give me that kind of flavor. Then I have 2 teaspoons of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 cups of sugar, and last but not least, this thing might scare some people, but it is 1 cup of boiling water. So that goes into the pot, and I'm going to bring it over to the KitchenAid, and we're going to mix it and see how it looks. So it's all beat up and mixed in together. Just a note, when you put in all those ingredients, turn the mixer on slowly. I spared you the drama of a big puff of cocoa powder and flour hitting me in the face. So just make sure that you are careful when you fire up your KitchenAid, because it will splash out. And we're just going to go ahead and fill up our tube pan. Make sure you get this batter in there nice and even. Once you evened out the batter in the pan, it's going to be time to put it in the oven. This is going to go in the oven at 350 for about 45 minutes. We'll check it with a toothpick to see if it's ready. Might have to go a little bit longer. And I already smell this cake, and it's interesting. It's bringing back memories. So sometimes, like, you can almost taste the way something smells. And even though I haven't made this cake in years, I'm sensing that, you know, comfort, mom making this cake and going back to my childhood, remembering what this actually tastes like. So now I really can't wait to get it in the oven so that we can eat it. Wow, the kitchen smells really good as the cake is almost done. That's my favorite sound. Let's go check on the cake. Shut off the timer. And we're going to do the toothpick test. Wow, it's come up nice and high. Oh, it is not ready yet. Probably needs about another 5 minutes. So I get to taste the toothpick. Setting the timer on for about another 5 minutes. And I want to watch this closely because I certainly don't want it to burn and get dry. I'll give it another 5 minutes and we'll see if it's ready. So far, so good. The Never Failed chocolate cake certainly doesn't look like a fail to me thus far. It got really nice and high, and it is time to go ahead and invert it and get it cool. So this is pretty much cool to the sides, to the touch after about 15 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and slowly lift this out. And as you can see, it lifts out very easily, which is definitely something that you want to see happen. Now, remember the bottom of this is pretty hot. So what we want to do is kind of move it to the edge so you have something to grab the bottom with. And I'm going to use a dish towel. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put this plate on top. And I'm going to invert this over. I don't know why I get a little twisted on this sometimes. But let me go ahead and hold the cake. This is going to be a video and what not to do. So basically what I'm doing is I'm holding the cake. If you can see on the underside, I have my fingers up here in the tube and my thumb holding the side. I'm going to put this on here and we're going to flip over 1, 2, and 3 perfectly. All right, it came right off. It looks great. It almost broke just a little bit, but that's okay because this is the bottom side. And then we have to flip it one more time so that it will cool right side up. And there you go. It has a nice crown on it. It smells delicious, really rich, chocolatey smell. And this will cool now for several hours. I haven't figured out what I'm gonna put on the top of it. You can just put some powdered sugar. I might make a confectioner's glaze, but I'll have to think about it. I got a couple of hours to be creative. Hello, my kitchenettes. Well, it never fails that I couldn't leave well enough alone, and I had to go ahead and gay this cake up. This is the end result. I actually made a fabulous chocolate orange cream cheese frosting. Don't worry, I got the recipe for you in an upcoming video. But I am going to go ahead and take a slice out of this to show you what the end result actually looks like. And we'll pull it up here. Wow, look at that. With a nice glass of milk, heaven. So, there you go. I hope you enjoyed the video on the Never Fail chocolate cake. I hope you try it. And for God's sakes, wash your hands. Ciao.